Yeah, it's very important. I know sometimes it's easier said than done, to say, hey, if you realize that it doesn't work for you anymore, just leave. Nevertheless, I also understand we have families to feed,
Bills to pay.
we have bills to pay, we have a zillion of things to take care of, and we all are relying on that paycheck. But that paycheck, as much that it is important for us to earn it wherever our lives is more important than any paycheck.
I agree. So some of the other risk factors I wanted to continue were a lack of autonomy, right? Because micromanaging can be a very big problem because if you don't feel trusted to do your job, that's going to add additional stress, right? Because you feel like your boss is monitoring your every move. I remember talking to a friend of mine and she was telling me that they actually measure her productivity based on the amount of keystrokes because she works remotely. So they actually count the number of keystrokes as she's using the computer to measure her productivity. And I said to myself, wow, that must be very nerve-wracking because heaven forbid you do something personal on that computer or you're doing something that's not work-related, okay? They're gonna weigh that in and probably penalize you and say, well, what were you doing during that fraction of time in which you were typing something else, right? Something that wasn't work-related. So I thought that was very interesting.
While you mentioned that, one thing that I sometimes normally don't understand, let's say, Mr. Bonhomme, I work here, right? And you're supposed to be the employer or the boss. And we were supposed to have an event. And all morning long, we've been doing whatever that we were doing. And there was no issue. And the minute that they say that, oh, Mr. Bonhomme is coming, now everybody is kind of like, why he has to be that way?
Right.
Because
Everyone gets nervous.
I always tell people, were you doing the right thing? That always been my question.
Sure.
Were you doing the right thing before Mr. Bonhomme got into the workplace
Right.
or the building?
Right. Because
Yes, if I was doing the right thing, then even if Mr. Bonhomme decide to walk in, I'm gonna continue to do
right,
whatever
there's
that
no
I
need.
was doing.
There's
There was no
no
need
need
for
to
me.
straighten up because you're already straightened up.
Exactly.
Right.
Just because Mr. Bonhomme may have that stinky attitude that got everybody panicked.
Exactly.
And it's not good. Me on a personal level, I cannot deal with it because I make sure that when I go to work, I do my job. I don't need a boss behind me to dictate me every single minute
Right.
or second what I have to do. But at the same talking, I have to know what my responsibilities are,
Absolutely.
what I'm getting paid for.
Right. There should not.
So if my work entails that I do this and that, when I come to work, I must deliver.
Yes.
But if you don't deliver the way that you're supposed to, because you're working, so you have a 1 hour lunch. So I understand you can have conversation, you can talk, but you have to work as well. While we're looking at the employers, I want us as employees to looking at ourselves and see, when I go to work, do I really do my job the way that I'm supposed to? Am I, create a situation or environment for people to feel not comfortable? What role do I ever play into having somebody experiencing a bad day?
That's right. Right. How am I contributing or not contributing to that? Right.
Exactly.
Yes. Absolutely. So I think that as not just as an employee, but as a person, you need to think about what type of energy you're bringing to an office, right? What type of energy you're bringing to a workplace, because there are people that are very unhappy with their jobs. And because they're unhappy, it's almost like they want to spread that misery and infect everyone else with it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're that unhappy, then maybe you should find something else to do. Okay? But you have some people who are so unhappy that no matter what job they're in, they're still going to show a negative attitude. Okay? So my thing is that if you don't feel happy wherever you are, then either you leave, find something else to do, or get a therapist, work with yourself, okay? But there are people who contribute to these toxic workplaces and have no idea they're doing it. And they don't take accountability. They don't look at themselves. And that's important. We all should look at ourselves and see what are we bringing to that environment. right?
Mm.
Are we
Oh.
bringing healthy,
Mm-hmm.
kind, caring, positive energy, or are we bringing negative energy?